Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and today we're going to be going over the all-new 2019 Ford Raptor. And I know that I already did a video earlier this year on a Raptor, but I wanted to do an update video because all of you know that I'm planning on ordering a Raptor, and this is pretty close to the spec that I'm planning on ordering. So as always, we are going to do a quick walk around on the truck, then we're going to take it out to see how it drives. A big shout out and thank you to Larry H. Miller, Ford here in Provo, Utah, for providing us with the Raptor. Link in the description to their inventory. Check them out if you're in the market for a new Ford. Quick side note, if you're wondering why there's some dust in the engine bay, there is a ton of construction going on around this area and it causes a ton of dust to just settle in the vehicles. Just a heads up. But anyways, under the hood here we have a twin turbocharged V6 that goes through a 10-speed automatic transmission. In terms of power outputs on the Raptor, you get 450 horsepower and then 510 pound-feet of torque. Fuel economy is going to be 15 around town and 18 on the highway, which is pretty similar fuel economy numbers to my Rebel. A little bit less on the highway, but pretty close. Now let's go over things on the front end of the Raptor. So one of the really cool things is the hood. So they've got the sport hood, which looks cool on the outside and the inside. They've got these two little stripes at the top of the hood, which they show a little bit more on like a blue truck or a red truck. They look really, really neat on that. And then we can kind of pop down below. So we've got the little headlight clusters right here. So full wraparound LEDs. You got the LED lights and their turn signals are all integrated into that headlight cluster. You've got the Ford logo that goes across, and it's really cool that they've got these little marker lights in here because the truck's so wide. Under federal regulation, you have to have marker lights on the Raptor. And then you see at the very bottom, you've got the little skid plate with the tow hooks, which again, a signature Raptor look. And then you can see the suspension through there, and gosh, it looks so cool with the orange. One of my favorite touches here on the Raptor. This particular Raptor has the upgraded rims. So these are the beadlocks from the factory, which I think they look significantly better than the stock rims, especially with how they show the brake calipers, which you guys know I'd paint those if I got brake calipers, obviously. And then you've got 35s that are around those. So really solid setup for the off-road in general. And you can see just how huge these fenders are, and they've widened the whole body of the truck, which completely transforms the truck. It just has these huge haunches and it looks crazy. And then you can see that on the side here they've got this really cool venting there, which aesthetically very pleasing. And then you see the side steps that run down the length of the truck. But let's head up to the back now. Here's our key fob on the Raptor. So you got a couple functions. You got your lock and unlock, remote start and tailgate release. So if we lock the truck and then press that button twice, first time we'll lock it, second time we'll remote start it. You hear that 3.5 liter V6 come to life, which I really like the sound of this actually. I think it sounds really, really good. Press that again and that'll shut it off. And if we press this button twice, that'll do the tailgate release, which is a slow lower tailgate, as you can see. We've got full bed liner from the factory, and you can see all that continues into the bed. You've got nice LED bed lights here. You've got all of your tie downs and all that. And then one of my favorite things is the cargo light up there is also a full LED. And then you can get an optional bed step. They didn't option this out, which I'm okay with that because then it makes the bed of the truck significantly lighter. And you know, being 22 years old, I would never use the bed step. But anyways, that locks into place very, very nicely. You got the Ford logo across there, F-150 Raptor. And then you can see the dual outlet exhaust, which the exhaust tips are pretty big for a truck. You've got a little receiver hitch right there. All of your plugins for towing, and then you get your parking sensors in the rear, and then you got a couple more tow hooks in the back, which it's just cool to see that. And let me just give you guys one more rear angle so you can kind of see that on the Raptor. I think it looks really, really neat. So I forgot to mention the taillights. So I like how the taillights come out on the top portion. I think it looks more aesthetically pleasing than when they kind of go down to the bottom. But this is part of your blind spot monitoring. That's what's got the little camera thing right there. But you can also see that they kind of do a different coloration right here. It's kind of like the bumper almost extends to the side of the truck, which is a neat little touch. Now to the back here, we can see the door panel. So you get some soft touch here on the back of the Raptor. Cool carbon fiber trim. That's one of my favorite touches on this truck, that there's carbon fiber in the rear. Got the little door handle right there. One of the speakers for the sound system, and then we can see the seats in here. So the only difference between this truck and the spec that I plan on choosing is this one has the standard seats, whereas I'm going to get the Recaro seats in the truck. But you can see the nice perforated leather with the seats, and then you can pull this down. Pops out as little cup holders in there. Really neat thing. And then you can see this has heated seats in the back. You got a little power outlet back here as well, so you can do a bunch of charging. You've got some vents, cup holders for the rear passengers. And then you see you've got some like pockets back here. And then note this one does have the panoramic sunroof. You can see we got keyless entry on the front. So one touch to lock it and one touch to unlock it. You can see the mirrors. They actually are power folding, and before we go inside, it does have the keypad like all the other Fords. But we have the door panel here in the front, so they've got nice leather padding with the contrasted stitching, more of that carbon fiber trim. All of your window controls right here, mirror controls as well. Memory seats are just down below with your door lock and unlock. More speaker controls. Like I said, those mirrors, you can power fold them in, and they do come with blind spot monitoring. And then if we look at the seats here in the front, they got these really nice bolsters. They kind of have these little like cloth inserts on the seats. It says Raptor on the back of them. More perforations with the leather. Full power adjustment on the seats. And then you can see the pedal layout just down below right there. They are power adjustable. You've got your parking brake. You've got all of your light controls right here, your cargo light. And these are little lights on the mirrors. So they're kind of like accessory lights to help illuminate stuff at night. And then the steering wheel is power adjustable. Now to start up the Raptor, just put your foot on the brake, push the push start. Say built Ford tough and everything will start up. It does the signature Ford chime. And then by the way, those side steps make getting in and out of the truck really easy in the Raptor, and they are the off-road steps, so they can protect the truck as well. So we've got all of our voice commands over here, Ford logo in the center. These are your different drive modes. We'll go over those in a moment. And you've got your steering wheel settings as well, the rest of your phone controls. On this other side, it does come with adaptive cruise control. That's kind of like your setting for that. And then this is for the center screen. And they've got these beautiful paddles on the back of the steering wheel. And then they've got this cool little red racing stripe in the center. The steering wheel looks and feels really nice in general. I like how the leather here is a little bit grippier than the leather on the top, basically, so because that's where we're gonna be grabbing it. But let's get into the center screen. So here on the center screen, you can see you've got your RPMs on the left side. On the right side, you've got your speed, and then you've got that little screen that you can scroll through a couple different menus with the truck to give you different bits of information, just like all of the other F-150s. But I'm sure that's not what you're here for. So you can see the steering, you can do comfort, normal, and sport. And basically this just changed how heavy the steering feels. And then you got the drive modes. You got normal, you got deep sand, and you can see that it goes into four-wheel drive. And then you can see that after that you've got Baja, rock crawl, slippery, tow haul, sport, and then normal. Most of my driving would be in Sport and Baja, just saying. Just above right here, we've got a couple buttons for the camera system. So you can press that. You've got your auto stop start. That's your off-road cruise control, which is a really cool feature actually. Stability control, and then you got your hazard lights. You can see the camera system's already on, so let's just pop it into reverse to go over all of that. So you can see right here, you can actually zoom in on the little receiver hitch if you want to. So if you're hooking up to a trailer, you get the bird's eye view. And then if we get out of that and just go through the camera system, you can see it's got the full 360 camera. So you can see there's a bunch of different angles on the truck. So the Raptor being super wide can be difficult to park at times. So having all these different camera angles will make parking this truck significantly more simple. Now going over the infotainment system, we can see there's a bunch of different tabs here, and actually over in the settings tab, this is where it gives you a bunch of little things that you can scroll through. So like you can get vehicle information on it, which is really cool. It just gives you different settings that you can customize with the truck. It does come with navigation as well, so it's a full little screen right here. And then it is going to be dual zone climate here in the Raptor. And if you are wondering, heated and cooled seats do come with the truck. Down below, we've got a couple controls for the media center. You've got your volume control and your radio station control. You've got the whole climate system down here if you don't want to use the touchscreen for the climate controls. And like I said, it is a dual zone climate. You've got your heated and cooled seat control down here on top of that. This is your on-the-fly drive shifter. So you can see you've got your four-wheel auto, four-wheel high, four-wheel low, and then two-wheel high. Trailer backup system, and then trailer brakes are already integrated into the truck, which really nice feature to have in general. And I pressed it and it gave me a warning because I'm not connected to a trailer, guys. This one has the carbon fiber package, so this is all carbon fiber here, and this basically under this area is just a little charging station, so you've got a little charging ports and some extra storage down there. The shifter is also carbon fiber, which really nice touch. You've got the manual shift mode here if you want to shift the gears there. I'd recommend the paddle shifters because they look and feel cool, so you can also use those to shift the gears yourself through that 10-speed automatic transmission. You've got your cup holders right here, lane departure assistance, and then you've got the full center console with the stitching. And then you can pick this up. You can see you've got some more storage in here with the little cubby thing right there, but tons of storage space. And while we're talking about storage space, you can see there's a little bit kind of above the glove box. It's kind of like padded there so you can put stuff. And you can see there's more carbon fiber trim, and then you can open up the glove box to find even more storage if you need that. And then I did forget to mention, get a couple charging stations right there. Now up top, you've got your power rear siding window right here, and like I said, full panoramic sunroof. A bunch of auxiliary switches come standard in the Raptor, So if you add any auxiliary lights or anything like that, you already got the switches, sunglass holder as well. That's the control for your sunroof, and then a bunch of light controls. And then it does have universal garage door openers. We're done going over the interior. Let's quickly go over pricing. So pricing on this Raptor, it's stickers for just over $74,000 before any type of market adjustment. And so that'll being said, let's take out this 2019 Raptor to see how it drives. Let's talk about visibility before we set off in the Raptor. So you can see over the hood, visibility is actually pretty good. It's cool to see that little sport hood thing in the center. And then see visibility throughout both of the mirrors is really good. These windows slope down, so it actually kind of helps out with visibility slightly, especially seeing the mirrors in general. You can see visibility throughout the rest of the cabin in the Raptor. It's pretty solid. It's really easy to see out of the truck in general, and since it's so high up off the ground, I mean, you're over everyone. So initially starting off here in the Raptor, I love the sounds from that twin turbo V6. Definitely has that kind of like Baja sounding. That's when I think of Baja, I think of the Raptor exhaust. But let's talk about road noise and ride quality briefly. So in terms of ride quality, it's actually a lot smoother than I expected. And then in terms of road noise, you actually don't hear a whole lot. You do hear some nice exhaust notes, but other than that, it's pretty quiet. Now right now, if you're wondering, I've got it in the sport mode, and then I've also have the sport steering, so it's a little bit tighter. It's gonna hold the gears a little bit longer. I don't have it in the Baja mode because I'm not off-road, and that's when you're supposed to need that essentially. But in general, the steering is actually, it's very direct, but I mean, I like that it has a little bit of weight to it in the sport mode. That's one thing I don't love about my truck, is the fact that it's not very weighted. It's super, super light, which is nice, but it's not really for fun driving necessarily. Just making a little bit of distance before we get an acceleration here at the Raptor. You hear a ton of intake noise, a little bit from the exhaust, but most of it is intake noise, and it sounds really good. I know that a lot of you guys hate on the V6, but I think this sounds absolutely fantastic. I prefer it to the sound of my truck, and I've got a Hemi, so that's saying something. Something's up with the Raptor. I love the exterior appearances on it. I mean, it's the best looking truck on the market right now. I actually really like the sound on it, and it rides a lot smoother than I originally thought that it would ride. So it's something that'd be very comfortable to drive on a daily basis in general. And then just like overall capability wise and everything, it's super capable. And so I know the price in these is a little bit up there, but if you don't get all the bells and whistles like I got, you can get these for a pretty reasonable price. And so I think it's definitely worth a look into. There we have it, everyone, the 2019 Ford Raptor. And I want you all to leave in the comment section below if I should order a Raptor. I'm gonna make a quick video after this. It's just a couple minutes long. Basically, I'm gonna go over this truck and the options that I ordered and kind of what I didn't order, so then you guys can put your input on that. But as always, if you're stopping for the first time, I would really appreciate if you'd subscribe, comment down below what you thought, and then again, a huge shout out and thank you to Larry H. Miller, Ford Lincoln in Provo here. If you're in the market for new Ford, check out their inventory in the link below. They're the people that I'm gonna be ordering the Raptor from.